one of our guys said, Pat, you may want to ask him about 764COM, C-O-M. It's a self-harming cult group started in 2021 that decentralized. Are you following what's going on?
Yeah.
They're making kids kill. It's some radical.
There are leaders now being charged with child pornography.
Who is the leader, by the way? I couldn't find the leader.
There was one man arrested that there were claims that he might be the leader or that he is alleged to be the leader.
Bradley guy? Bradley Cadenhead?
Yeah, I think that would be the person they arrested that they characterized as being in a leadership position. And a number of people have been arrested. And what's interesting about this group is how they recruited young people online, and that some of those people were in the video gaming community, and that adjacent to that, there would be areas online where they would recruit these people, these minor children. And then they would get incriminating information. They would coerce them and basically exploit them. So this is typical of what we're seeing online. And so if someone is a parent today, how much more challenging it is than in my father's day, when there was just a telephone on the wall, there was no internet. Today, your kid can be on a smartphone in their bedroom, texting with a cult leader or cult members and being recruited and indoctrinated in a cult online while they're in your own house. And I have been involved in getting minor kids out of groups like that.
Yeah, so the guy's name, Rob, if you want to pull him up, is Prasan Nepal. If you can pull up Prasan, because I said, where does 764 come from? Apparently it's the area code that it started from San Mateo, California. But this is the guy who got arrested. His name, online handle is known as Trippy, 20-year-old man from High Point, North Carolina, who has been arrested and charged as one of the leaders of 764, Global Child Exploitation and Violent Extremist Network. The network is a nihilistic, violent, extreme group. I think they just got categorized as a terrorist group, if I'm not mistaken. Nepal is accused of being a leader and a founder of the core subgroup. He allegedly admitted to creating and still controlling the network. Arrested April 22nd, 2025. He is charged with operating international child exploitation enterprise. His co-defendant, Leonidas Varagianis, known as War, was arrested in Greece. Can you look that guy up? So wait a minute. This is international. So they're all over the world working together to get kids. What a mess. Grooming and extortion. The group allegedly targets vulnerable minors, including those with depression or mental illness, and groom them to produce sexual, explicit, and self-harm content. Guidebook. The defendants are accused of creating a guide for aspiring 764 members. Coercion and Violence, Nepal, and Varagianis allegedly ordered victims to perform acts of self-mutilation, online sexual acts, and harm to animals, often live-streamed for the group's content and as form of discipline. Wow. What do you tell parents? What do you think? Because you know this whole new thing, 6-7, this whole thing that they're doing. I don't know if you heard about the 6-7. Are you following it or no? I can't see you going like 6-7 or whatever they do. But these kids are doing this thing called 6-7, right? What do you tell parents, like, you know, that are seeing their kids behave a little bit weird? What feedback do you give to parents?
Well, I think that that parents have to be vigilant, that they have to understand, where is my kid going at online? And they may want to track where they're going online and look where they're going online. And they may even want to restrict their use of the internet and their access to technology that puts them on the internet until they're old enough to better understand what's involved. You know, there's nothing wrong with video games per se, but we have to recognize that they can be used in a negative way by cults to recruit people, which they have been, and that people are being minor children are being recruited online. So if you're a parent, this is very challenging. It's very daunting, but you're going to have to, you know, be hands-on and understand exactly what's going on in your child's life. Who are they visiting? What websites? What videos are they watching on YouTube? What's going on? And if you see a change in behavior, they seem to become more isolated. They're moving away from you. They're becoming sullen. They're staying in their room for long periods of time. These kind of changes may signal outside influence online, and you need to be vigilant as a parent.
Yeah, it's a strange time right now because kids are being targeted, and if you're not too careful, the other day I'm talking to my kids and I said, so by what age you think we should get you guys social media? What age you think I'll approve? And I'm just kind of trying to see what they'll say. And my youngest says, I think you'll probably let us use social media at 16. And then my other one says, I don't know if I need it till 18. Just give it to us at 18. I manage all their Instagram accounts. So I'm creating an Instagram account for all of them that I'm going to hand it to them at 18 years old. And, you know, from there on, you're an adult, but you get a head start, and daddy's your social media manager for now. I think it's so important to be involved. So important. If you're not, the other guys are watching. A famous pedophile interview came out. I don't know if you saw this guy or not, in a yellow shirt. And they asked him, who do you target? He says, I target any kid whose father is not involved. That guy right there. This guy right here. He flat out says, I target kids who don't have a strong father and don't have certain values, faith values in their lives. Rob, let's finish up with this clip here.
Them alone.
Grooming. I would check out their family situation. I would check out their
this guy did 15 years, I believe.
See how well they were, financially. I would check out their social interaction with other kids. When we were on the ballparks or on the gym floor, I would make sure which ones I wanted to molest. I would give them special attention, congratulate them, talk to them, and I know that I would never be allowed to talk to anybody else. Aside from everybody, I would give them the attention that an official is not supposed to give anybody, and it made them feel like, wow, he's paying me attention. It is a direct form of grooming.
Were there certain characteristics that you looked for in children before molesting them?
In children, yes, but more I also looked at their families. If I thought the father was a threat,
bingo,
I would not approach the child. If I thought that the child had friends that he would tell, I would not approach him. If I thought the child had friends that were in the same capacity he was, I would approach him. For the simple fact that if I could molest him, I could lure him into believing, grooming him into believing that he would enjoy it. And therefore, I could manipulate him into having his other friends come.
You know what it made me just think about, Rob? It just made me think about Epstein's business model. If you think about it. Because Epstein got the girls to recruit other girls to his facility. I'm sure you've seen the documentary with Epstein. Yeah. By the way, who do people say you look like? Did they tell you look like somebody or no?
That I look like the rapper Rick Ross? I don't think so.
You're the third most famous Rick Ross in the world. Is that fair?
Maybe. But I will say this. I was always Rick Ross. I didn't change my name.
So they took your name. These guys, you
know what's interesting? Ricky Ross is my legal name on my birth certificate, R-I-C-K-Y, Alan Ross. And so Freeway Ricky Ross became the first person that used the same name as me. And then subsequently, of course, Rick Ross was not thinking of me. He was thinking of Freeway Ricky Ross. And then he took the name Rick Ross, which was not his given name. But all I can say is what a successful guy he is. And he's quite the entrepreneur. And sometimes I wish I was that Rick Ross, because he's
you got to rap better, Rick.
He's so successful. But let me just say this: the consistent narrative that pulls through all the people that I talk to, that are cult victims, survivors of destructive cults, is similar to what that man just said, that pedophile, which is that they were at a vulnerable point in their life. Things were not going well, and they were looking for someone to help them, someone to make them feel better about their situation, about themselves. And at that point, an authority figure or a seeming authority figure or someone they trusted, it could be a coworker, a friend, a relative who was involved in the group, came to them and said, hey, come to this meeting, do this. And they didn't know what the group was really all about, but they trusted the person that approached them. And at the same time, they were hurting. And so that made them vulnerable. And what I'm going to say is that all of us go through periods of time in our lives where we are vulnerable, where things are not going well. And when that happens, be careful. Be careful not to trust someone too much that they have all the answers. Hi, I'm Rick Allen Ross, cult expert, intervention specialist, author of the book Cults Inside Out. You can find me on Monect.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.